Okay, hey, welcome. This is Yokai Yashiki and I'm Natto Maki. This time I'm going to be doing Jorogumo. Jorogumo is a yokai that's a woman, but it's also a spider. Bet you didn't see that coming. Look at my arms. Anyway, so I got a story for you. In Okayama, there was this town called Doi. Someday this rich looking lady came along with her mother and they set up shop in the local shrine. They built themselves a nest. And so the lady's mother, she's the one who's she's going around finding men. When the men come over to the shrine to see the daughter, they're so sexy, and then she eats them. Eventually, so people start noticing that a lot of guys in this not very big village disappear. Maybe their bones turn up somewhere. But so a samurai from a nearby town comes over and he's I heard there's there's a spider lady in this town and I'm gonna go and find her and kill her. But people didn't really know where the spider lady was, even if she was just in the shrine. So he's sitting by the side of the river, on his way to the thing, and he's writing some poetry, some sexy poetry. And then this old lady comes along and he's ooh, that's some sexy poetry you got there. How about you come and see my daughter? Or I think she heard your poetry and she's really banging for it. And so he's yeah, I guess my poetry was pretty sexy. I can see why someone would want to marry me from listening to it. So he follows her. And he ends up at the shrine and there's this beautiful lady there, beautiful. And he's completely forgot his mission to kill the spy lady and just saw this woman, gorgeous woman who liked his poetry, and he's and she's ooh, your poetry really turns me on. Why don't you marry me? And he's she tells him to leave his sword somewhere because he's a samurai, he's got a sword. She doesn't want the sword around, obviously. So he's oh yeah, I'll put my sword over there. And then she's take off your clothes. And he's oh yeah, we'll take off all my clothes. And then so he's naked, she takes off her clothes too. And of course he's and then she comes over to him all naked and sexy and then starts grinding up on him even more, and they start having sex, and she starts digging her nails into his back, and he's alright, I don't want to kink shame, this is just but what she likes, I could get into it too, hurts a bit though. And then she starts to bite his neck, and he's ow, this really does hurt, could you stop? Then he pushes her off, turns around, and she's a big old spider and he's whoa, that's just killed my erection. Also you're a big spider and I'm scared. And so she's her mother comes along as well, and her mother's now a spider, and they're all yeah, we're gonna eat this guy. And he's scared because he's naked. He's scared because he doesn't have his sword, he put that somewhere, and so he just runs to the nearest thing he can, which is this big rock that's in the shrine, while these spiders are coming towards, yeah, we're gonna eat you. So he grabs this rock, which is apparently it's a magic rock, because when he grabs it and clings for dear life, some poison mist comes out, surrounds the spiders, chokes them to death, and they die that way the spiders die, where they go and all their arms going yeah, they did that, both of them, and then he's fine. Isn't that cool? There is some other versions of different stories. There's this one in Tokushima So there's this guy who's he's just been engaged, and he's the son of the village chief. And so one day, this like blind lady, like this beautiful blind lady, comes and says like, "Oh, I'm a traveller. Can I stop at your house? Cause I'm blind and I can't do anything else today." And they're like, "Oh yeah, all right." And then like, so the next day she leaves. But then from that day on, like this guy, the village chief's son, the guy who's engaged to be married, he just gets like weaker every day, and everyone's like concerned, like, oh, he doesn't look very good. And then at some point, like these rumors start going around that like he has seen that blind girl. You remember that blind girl from that one day? He has seen her. She was climbing into what's his name window at night around 3 in the morning. Like, didn't want to say anything till now, but you might want to like think about what's happening then. So like the guy, the village chief, he goes to his son and is like, anything happening at night? Anything? And the son's like, yes, like every day I have the most wonderful dream that that blind girl comes back and like stares at me all night, and it's like the best feeling ever. And so the chief like goes, and then so he rounds up a posse. And he's like, okay, we're going to watch what happens at night. And so he gets several people to hide in his son's bedroom. I don't really know, including in the ceiling. I don't know how that works, but maybe because they like lie on the rafters, the beams. But anyway, so like there's a bunch of people hiding in his room, and then again, yeah, like around 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't know, how do they tell when it's 3 o'clock in the morning back then? Anyway, 3 o'clock in the morning, this like the blind lady arrives, but like she's not just a blind lady, she's a spider! And then like she comes over, she's like spider, she comes over and she starts sucking on the guy's blood. Starts sucking the guy's blood, and it's like, oh well, that's why he's been looking pale every day, because he keeps getting his blood stolen by this spider. And so like one of the guys in the posse like just shoots an arrow into the spider lady. She's like, ah! And so the son wakes up and the spider lady's like kind of being attacked on all sides, and the son's like, no, don't kill her. And so everyone's like, okay, we won't. And then the chief says to the spider lady, you go off into the mountains and never come back. And so she never did. But then like afterwards, the chief's like, I never told you this, but every time a man gets engaged, this like spider lady comes over and starts like, you know, sucking the blood and stuff. I don't know why it never came up until now, but you know, I'm starting to see a pattern. And the son's like, aye, I guess so. Oh yeah, the spider lady, she was like supposed to be like married to somebody, and then the guy's like, I had a change of heart. Fuck off. And so she did. She fucked off into the mountains and turned to a spider. Yeah, and then, but then after that guy, after one guy said, no, don't kill her, she had a change of heart. It's like, you know, somebody said not to kill me, and that's the nicest thing that's ever happened to me. I think she stayed a spider for the rest of her life, but she never bothered anybody.